Welcome to the big question. Today's topic, pharmaceutical companies, greedy or life-saving? There's a growing argument in the world today regarding pharmaceutical companies. One side says that they are greedy organizations who only focus on huge profits. The other side says pharmaceutical companies are saving lives through scientific research, but that research costs money and that money must be recouped. Neither side seems to trust the other, and both sides love to talk.
Medical miracles in pill form are now extending the lives of people with cancer who would otherwise die quickly without them. But the astronomical price of some of those drugs puts them out of reach for many who need them.
Big Pharma's agenda, it's a global agenda to not just take your money and make sure that you die broke, but also to see that not as many of you survive as you should.
This is a life-saving industry. This is the industry that we hope is going to be able to control Alzheimer's and Parkinson's and these other diseases of the elderly. So we are dependent upon the pharmaceutical industry.
Big Pharma has made billions and billions in profits.
They made these profits by slapping extraordinary price tags on the prescription drugs and health treatments that they sell here in the United States, that Americans are forced to rely on in order to survive devastating diseases like cancer.
And this drug has been on the market so long, and people cannot afford buying this treatment, and governments cannot afford buying this treatment, and because of it, people are dying.
Did you know that the largest 11 drug companies raked in $85 billion in net profits last year?
Why can't Big Pharma settle for only $42 billion in profits?
To develop a drug, and generally it costs about $1 billion to get a drug to market.
Companies make medicines and they put pharmaceutical patents on those medicines, which gives them the exclusive right to produce and market that medicine in a given country where that patent is valid for a minimum period of 20 years.
In general, now it's thought that it takes about 16 to 17 years to discover, from when you start working on a drug project until the drug goes to market.
To do all of the studies, the rules, the regulations, is the drug safe? Does the drug work? All of these things require time and a lot of money for these companies to spend, lots of money.
What Big Pharma is doing is they're pushing for laws that will maintain high pharmaceutical prices, which so far have been the main barrier to us achieving universal access to treatment. So what they're really doing is they're actually letting people die for the sake of their profit.
I mean to tell you, those large corporations put an awful lot of money in research and development to make our standard of life better.
Most of that R&D.
The arguments and sound bites have become so predictable, it's almost mind-numbing. Gilead Sciences is an American-based biotech company that discovers and develops drug therapies. They are known for their very successful antiviral drugs to treat patients infected with HIV, hepatitis C, and liver disease. According to their latest annual report, Gilead has almost $10 billion in revenues, an operating cash flow of $3.7 billion, and earnings per share of almost $2. In 2011, Gilead took a gamble and acquired a small drug company that was working on a drug called Sovaldi. It was hoped Sovaldi would be an effective treatment for HIV. The cost for this acquisition was $11 billion. The gamble paid off. Sovaldi recently received FDA approval for use in patients and marketing, and it's proven to be extremely effective for patients where other therapies have failed. Financial analysts predict sales of Sovaldi will be $3 billion next year alone, making it one of the most successful drug launches in history. Gilead shares have quadrupled in value in the last 3 years. However, critics complain about the high cost of the drug. Sovaldi currently costs $1,000 a pill. The 12-week therapy session cost $84,000. In another development, according to early tests, Sovaldi, when combined with another drug, has a 95% cure rate in patients with hepatitis C. However, the cost to produce the second drug has proven to be too expensive for Gilead to produce at this time, suggesting if the new drug were to be made available, it would cost even more than Sovaldi. A San Antonio woman named Margaret Dudley started an online campaign accusing the company of profiteering, saying they were more worried about profits than saving human lives. In a story that has been in the news recently, a small drug company, Chimerix, has agreed to provide a drug to a 7-year-old boy from Virginia who has developed the adenovirus as a result of chemotherapy treatments. The drug, called brincidofovir, has yet to be approved by the FDA. It should be noted that because the FDA had yet to give its approval, Chimerix originally denied the family's request to provide young Josh Hardy the drug. The company's denial began a social media campaign putting quite a bit of pressure on Chimerix. And then came the numerous national media stories, many like this one.
Just shy of his 8th birthday, Josh Hardy is once again fighting for his life.
He's a tough little fella.
But the fight since his January transplant has been tough.
He was in a coma for 16 days.
And it was coming out of the coma in mid-January that his next fight began, a virus.
This virus has really done a number on his little body. He's bleeding internally and he's in a lot of pain.
Doctors at St. Jude's tell his parents
he needs this drug that this Chimerix company has developed.
But Chimerix, which makes the drug, says it can't be released outside of a controlled clinical trial and released this statement. This is one of hundreds of requests that Chimerix has received for the compassionate use of brincidofovir. Providing brincidofovir in any of these situations where there is currently limited evidence to suggest that brincidofovir would be helpful could very likely place the entire development program at risk. The family, which has talked with the company, says,
Mr. Mark, have a heart. This child needs to live. Release this drug so that he can have a healthy, happy life.
2 weeks ago, Chimerix received approval from the FDA to begin a new clinical trial protocol for 20 patients, including Josh Hardy.
1 week ago, he received his first dose of brincidofovir. Now he's had his 3rd dose, so kind of an astonishing turnaround in terms of this adenovirus. He's not out of the woods yet. He's fighting hard. He's been having some problems with his kidneys, but he has less pain than he had before. He's more alert. We spoke to his mother, Amy Hardy, last night, and she was so delighted. She thanked God for her son being delivered so far. In fact, she posted on her Facebook last night, "Glory to God, the medicine is working." Before Josh took the medicine, the adenovirus showed up in his blood in 250,000 log copies. Today, after only 2 doses, the log copies are down to 1,000. If it stays on this course, it should be gone by next Monday. So this is an incredible, incredible tale of America coming together behind a little boy and standing up to a big drug company and saying, no, he deserves compassionate use of this medicine. And now, a week later, we see the results.